Little disclaimer that I, Mystic, and am employee of Wizards of the Coast on the D&D team. So, I find Godfrey walking not on a road, but through the woods, and Garakius is flying lower than normal in front of him, flying ahead, stopping and waiting on a branch, flying ahead a little bit further, stopping and waiting on a branch as Godfrey walks through the brush and bramble of the woods to the spot where Garakius is taking him. What is Godfrey's mental space at this moment? What are you doing in the woods?
Godfrey is determined. He's very carefully following Garakius' trail. And in a way, he's steeling himself for an encounter, but at the same time, he kind of understands what he's walking into and knows that if it were to go south, there would be nothing that he could do.
Yeah. Continue this way. Dark skies overhead. And a few stars, but it's pretty cloudy. So even any starlight or moonlight can't really pop through. And because we're transitioning into that summer, the coolness of a spring evening isn't really around as much anymore. It stays pretty tepid and warm as the sun has set. And sure enough, you break through the trees and there's a small creek that has made a little bit of a gap in the forest. You startle a small herd of deer from their resting places as they see you walk through. They get up and run away. Garakius just sits on a rock next to the creek, kind of looks over at you. She'll be here any minute.
Godfrey just nods. Does not take a seat, but just stands at the tree line and waits.
Yeah. It's not long before you hear the howl of a wolf in the distance, but not too far. About 5 minutes later, one comes lumbering across the tree line on the other side of the creek, and Nyx transforms before you into the version of herself that last you saw at the tower in Wimston. They just look at you, smile. And there's no spite or quote-unquote evil look in their eye. They actually look a little curious as this deity of the night stands across the water from you. How can I help you, Godfrey?
I'm here for answers.
I'll try my best.
Godfrey spends a moment just visibly gripping his hands and letting them relax. At a point where he's trying to stay as cordial as he can be, but struggling against his inner turmoil of being in this situation. What did you do to me?
I saved you.
Saved? That's what you call this?
Would you rather be dead?
I would.
Fair enough. Take off the mask.
No, I can't do that.
The worst that happens is you die. You just said you'd rather be dead.
It's by my own hands I'm breaking a promise that I've made. And I don't intend to break that.
Well, then come here. Stop pouting. And she just holds out a hand, gesturing across the river for you to come towards her.
You still managed to answer the question without answering it. What did you do to me?
It's very magical and boring. But essentially, your soul is tethered to the mask. And your body's just a vessel in which to use to manifest and, do what you need to do, which you couldn't do as a mask.
And why?
I saw something in you.
And what would that be? In that fleeting moment, what did you see?
A little bit of myself. You're not afraid to step into the darkness for what you know is right. You're not afraid to sacrifice yourself for the greater good. You understand what it's like to be engrossed in shadow. Why do you wear that mask to begin with, Godfrey?
I wish I knew. I only knew when I was able to take it off, and now it cannot come off.
Stupid material plane gobbledygook of philosophy. You are who you are regardless of a goddamn mask.
There are many who would disagree. The mask is a way to be someone who you're not. It's a way to hide what's underneath. It's a way to put on a persona that is not yours.
Like a wolf?
If that makes it make more sense to you. At this point, Godfrey takes a few steps out from under the tree.
Mm-hmm.
You say that you find yourself able to make sacrifices for the greater good.
Of course.
And is that what killing all those rangers in that tower was for you? Perhaps I'm blind to what you've seen, but that does not seem to be an act that someone takes to enact something greater and good.
Do you know what this plane is for? What these people do here?
What do you mean what it's for?
It's a barrier. All
between what and
this is some plaything of my cousins that they create so that they can use you as little puppets and toys. They play with the trees. They play with the water, the wind. They play with love. And all for what? So I reside below. They have this barrier of playthings, and they reside above. Or they used to. And we want to play too. But they don't want us there. They're afraid of what us and our knowledge may do to you compliant creatures of this plane. Why do you think my Shiria locked everyone out? And then herself with it.
I'm sorry, you've said two things that now don't make much sense to me. You've said that you were all locked out and yet we're still the realm of playthings. Are you talking of two different times or the same one?
What is time?
Something that we used to have to abide by. I used to. A beginning and an end, something finite.
Then there was a time where certain family members of mine used this plane to their disposal. A time after that came where we also wanted to use this plane to our disposal, but to the protection of the beings here, we fought a war on their plane and on ours, which ended with that woman kicking us all out except for her. We found our ways back. And by taking that tower, and every tower in this realm, we start the rebirth of this plane.
For whose benefit?
Everyone's.
I feel like things were going quite well here before this.
You just don't know any better way.
And is this what we've been seeing, the better way? Towns being razed to nothing, cyclopses rampaging through cities, common people falling dead for no reason? Is this what your new world will look like?
Some things must be called away to be rebuilt.
Or what?
I said the greater good.
And yet you still have not defined it. What does your greater good look like? What does your perfect world, what are you envisioning this place to look like once you're in control?
She smiles at you and flings her heavy fur cloak as he takes a few steps closer to the water. It's not my plan. So it's not my place to say.
But you're following it without knowing?
I know what I need to know about what I gain and what you can gain too. But I don't need to know the full vision.
Then what are you gaining?
Sun, shadows. Spectrums of morality. Different creatures to see and be. Passing on my gifts. And if you'd have it, I would have you next to me through all of it. Been watching you. You clearly know your way around healing and harming, a duality that is very appealing to me. And I'm in need of a new champion.
What happened to the last?
See her eye twitch a little bit. Didn't agree with one of my actions and betrayed me.
And you think that I wouldn't?
It's always a possibility. Do your friends know?
Know about what?
The mask? The tether?
They do. As much as I do.
Good.
What did you do to Maya?
I didn't do anything to Maya.
You believe me to believe that? You expect me to believe that?
Mm-hmm.
We saw you entering her glade when we left for Wimston.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
She turned into a child and cried. And before I could do anything else, she poofed her way to someone somewhere else. A whole lot of them, they just don't even listen.
Why were you looking for Maya?
She seemed the easiest to understand. To join our side. We could do wonders if everyone at the flip of a coin could love us the way that they love my Shiria.
Sorry, I do have to look through my notes for a name. We've been gone away enough. Did you use me to know where Maya was?
No. Why would I do that?
How else did you find her?
Her magic, the scent of her, the power of the barrier that she uses, wasn't too hard. Cyclops was meant to be a distraction for you lot, but clearly you didn't care about that town as much as I thought you did.
Don't tell us what we did and didn't care about.
I'm just stating the facts as I see them.
If I don't join as your champion, what then?
You will.
Would you just find a new one?
I trust you, Godfrey. You don't have to worry about time anymore. They do. Are you liking the gift I gave you?
Godfrey stares up at what he can make of the cloudy sky. It's for a long time. It's a long gap.
They're just kind of kicking their boots in the dirt. Garakius ruffles his feathers a bit. They're waiting as patiently as you can expect from fidgety, impatient people.
I enjoyed using the gift to rip that corruption that Medusa had sent into the castle.
Mm.
Did you intend for me to use it like that?
Absolutely not. The power's your own. I will say, though, it was very creative. She looks back.
What are you going to do?
She came. I don't have
much time. What are you going to do if I refuse?
If you refuse, I hadn't quite thought about it. Do you think you'll refuse?
Thinking about it.
Yes, but do you think you'll do it? It's okay. You don't have to answer now.
Do you see my memories like I see yours?
My memories?
Yes, at night when I stare off into the abyss, I can't help but remember things that aren't mine.
Interesting. I don't, but I can see you through Garakius whenever I'd like. Your mind is your own, Godfrey. I mean for you to trust me.
Are you going to do anything to make me trust you?
No.
And how can that trust ever grow?
The more I prove to you that this nefarious picture you paint of me is untrue, the more I hope that it will grow. Now, I'm sorry, but
Perhaps
I really must be going.
If you were to answer one more, I would agree.
Ask away.
What did you empower your last champion with?
Oh, so many gifts.
No, but what was his mask?
I told you. He didn't have one. He chose.
Yes, but what was the thing?
He did not die. He was an immortal himself. Pulled from a different plane. He didn't need a vessel. He burns in that lava every day for what he did to me. Ceaseless fire. At least I gave you an out, right?
Gave is a strong word. It implies there was a choice.
It is a gift, Godfrey. I hope that you grow less dirgeful the next time that we speak.
Only time will tell.
Be nice to my friend, will you? She nods at Garakius.
I hope he hasn't been telling you I've been rude, because I've been anything but.
I wouldn't say ignoring is kind, but who am I? I'm not from this plane. I don't know your norms. And she kind of like jumps and forms into a wolf. Looks back at you with a big old wolf dog smile that's like a little eerie. And her tail flicks a bit before she runs into the woods.
Godfrey will turn and begin walking back towards town.
Garakius will lead you the way if you need it.
Throw a little bit of my rations that I don't eat at Garakius.
Hey, thanks.
I'll not.
She really is a nice being.
First impressions have a strong impact.
Can't say I was there, so I have no opinion.
She killed a tower of rangers, attempted to force one of my friends to be her champion, bit me, forced me to be her champion, destroyed an entire town, and then tried to ransack the temple of a god.
Sounds fun.
No more conversation, Godfrey just goes.
Yeah, we can end it there.